What is up, guys? Frank Macaluso here from Garageaholic. I am going to show you today in a quick 5-minute video how to reset your pressure plate with automatic clutch adjustment. I have an old clutch here that hasn't been adjusted yet. It was basically from a E92 335, so it's an M54 6-speed. And over time, the clutch disc wears away, and as it does, there's an automatic adjustment taper inside of this pressure plate that actually pushes the fingers more to allow the clutch pedal to feel exactly the same way as it does brand new out of the factory. So when you replace that clutch disc with a brand new clutch disc, it's actually going to feel a lot spongier because it hasn't been adjusted. So what you need to do is you need to reset that adjustment, and in order to do that, you need to push those fingers all the way down. I won't do I'm done with the talking. Let's get right to it, okay? So I've rigged up this setup here, which basically has the pressure plate on top of my plywood table. You can use any type of thick wood or a metal table if you'd like. I'm actually using this. You drill a 1/2-inch hole and you use your spacers to mount the spacers not on the actual disc here, but on the location where they actually mount, where it would normally mount to the flywheel. And then you set that right on top, just like that, so that the actual clutch disc is sitting freely. Then you want to source yourself some sort of a washer that's about a 2.5-inch diameter. Use a really long M12 or 1/2-inch bolt is fine, doesn't have to be metric or standard. And you kind of thread it right through just like that, right? Make sure that it's centered. And you want that bolt to peek through the bottom underneath. And I can feel it just like that. This is an 18 millimeter, so I'm going to use a washer and a nut on the underside here, and I'm going to thread it on. Okay. And I'm going to end up holding the underside with a wrench here. And what you're doing is you're actually going to be pushing all of these fingers down, and it allows these springs to, the tension on these tiny little springs looks like a spring from like a, I don't know, an antenna or something like that, right? It's not like a hard compressible type spring. And it basically takes it relieves the tension from the fingers to the actual plate of the clutch plate, of the pressure plate, and it allows you to take this whole assembly, this sub-assembly inside, and rotate it. And you want to rotate it with some sort of I've got a couple of chisels here, and these chisels kind of you can use a hammer and push it. That's what I plan on doing. Something like a 5-pound hammer. So anyway, I'm using a really large impact in order to push all them down, and I'll zoom in for you so you can see it better. But the idea is that when you push all this down, it relieves the tension. You can clock it back so that all of these little springs are as compressed as possible, and then you relieve the tension on the fingers. So it's pretty straightforward. Let me show you. Come on. Okay. Hopefully that's a good shot there. Just like that. So if I hold this on the bottom side, okay, and then I start putting the pressure here. Okay, just started getting the tension. Now as I push this down, you'll see the fingers actually start to depress. And as I do that, you can see right here that the springs are in the fully open position. This is basically as far open as you want to go, I think. And then what we need to do is we need to twist that so that the springs are actually being compressed. So let's do that too. Okay, so I'll close this. It's good. Let's see if this thing spins. I'll use a screwdriver to start, actually. Yeah, see that? You might not be able to see it. Let me demonstrate it here, really easily here. Okay. So now I've taken the tension off, you can see here. See how that's all moving? So what I want to do ultimately is I want to basically push this to a point where it's compressed as much as possible, right? And then take the tension off of the fingers at the same time. So it's a little bit tricky on how to do this, but the idea is that if you can get it started like this, then you kind of get the next biggest one and a different one here. You can continue to push it, right? Something like that, right? Just like that, as much as you can, right? And then unscrew. But unfortunately, I don't have 3 hands, so I can't do it all. Let me see if there's anything I could do there. All right, so let me see if I can find a bigger spacer. No bigger. Back up. Okay. Open this up a tiny bit. Okay. All right, it's filled. Let's see if I can take the rest of it off. Okay. And now you can see that this clutch disc has springs compressed completely, meaning that it is ready to be installed. And I don't feel very comfortable installing this because it's been used pretty significantly. However, you can see that the striations in the actual clutch pressure disc here, the pressure plate, you can hear this, that it's actually still in good shape. So it can still be used. I wouldn't certainly recommend it, especially if you have another one handy. But this is how you do it. It's really not that hard. You can do it on wood surface, you can do it on a metal surface, you can do it on, I don't know, hard plastic if you want. Doesn't really matter. All right? So that's basically it, guys. It's actually really nothing to it. As you can see, I did it in 8.5 minutes with a couple of tools, as long as you have an impact. You can do it by hand if you want. It's just going to take a while. And that just about does it, guys. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for, hopefully you learned a little something by tuning into my channel. And if you like it, hey, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Thanks a lot, guys, Take it easy. Later. And how do you turn it off? How do you turn this off? I got it. There you go.